Hello and welcome to my virtual office. My name is Renata Bernardi. I am the host of the Job Hunting Podcast, and I also run live career coaching sessions every week. If you're listening to this, you're about to listen to one of these live coaching sessions, so welcome. If you're keen to participate live, you can join me on my Facebook page. That's where I run them every Thursday, 12 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. But if that's not a good time for you, it doesn't matter. They are recorded and then I post them on my Facebook page, on my website, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. There is a platform for you to follow me. So click the buttons and follow me wherever you found me. I'd love to keep in touch with you. And you can sign up to my newsletter, and I will send you a weekly newsletter with the Job Hunting Podcast of the week, articles about career, and that will help you progress in your career advancement and your job hunting pursuits. I'd love to help you, so keep in touch. Hello, and we're live. I am pretty sure everything is working fine. My name is Renata. I am the host of the Job Hunting Podcast, and I have this page here on Facebook to help job hunters and career enthusiasts to have a better experience looking at progressing in their career, planning their careers, going for job interviews, doing, the whole step-by-step process, which can sometimes be overwhelming, be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. It can be a much simpler process, and it gets better the more you do it. That's the truth. It's a strange time. Everybody's saying that, you know what I mean. It's different in different countries, but we're almost all of us are homebound, except if you're an essential worker, and I cater for white-collar workers. So most of my clients and the community that I serve are working from home or have been made redundant. And this is a really sort of strange situation to be in. Many of the people that I serve, clients or members of my community, people that subscribe to my newsletter, are also in a situation where they've been asked by their employers to reduce their hours, by that also reduce their income, take leave, stay home, and the economy is at a standstill, so it's understandable. We are in a very interesting, strange situation, and we need to get out of that eventually. So we need to be ready as professionals in the corporate sector, not-profit sector, and public sector to come back into a normal marketplace, a normal economy, whatever that normal may be. So I'd love for you to follow me. So follow this page, subscribe to this page. You can also follow the Job Hunting Podcast. It's on iTunes, it's on YouTube and Spotify. It's also on my website. If you are currently job hunting and you're on the thick of it, I would strongly recommend that you subscribe to my newsletter. For sure, it's important because I will send you the podcast episodes every week, but I will also top that up with essential readings and notes and information for you that I think are really important for you, but also keeping you accountable, keeping you on track, making sure that you have that weekly communication with me. The Facebook page and the Instagram is also that ongoing daily communication and resiliency building, motivation for you to keep on track. And the private Facebook group is another essential, because in there we have safe conversations. You can ask questions, not just to me, but to others in the group. And whenever I have an information about stimulus package for job hunters and job seekers, or job opportunities. Even late last night, I posted, job opportunities. Yesterday, I posted links to jobs in Canberra, jobs in Melbourne, jobs, special jobs that are headhunting jobs, so they're not really advertised that much. They are inside the private Facebook group. So make sure that you go to my page, find that group. It's the only group that I have, and make sure that you join it. You will be asked a few questions and we will allow you in. Okay, so let's go into the topic of the day. 3 reasons why you should be applying for jobs now. So I have notes here because this is a coaching session and I want to make sure I go through my notes and make sure that you are you understand where I'm coming from and you don't think I'm crazy. Of course, I know it's a tough situation, and of course, I know the economy is somewhat on a standstill. But there are a few reasons why I think you should be applying for jobs. I touched on this week already when I was interviewed by Ticker TV. Ticker TV is a news channel. It was started, I think, mid last year by some people that left Sky News, which is another news channel here in Australia. And Sky News is Sydney based, Ticker TV is Melbourne based. I really wanted to go in and have a look at their location because they're based in Richmond, but couldn't, had to dial in, and was interviewed by Aaron Young, who used to be an anchor at Sky News. So the link to that short interview will be, I will send it to you tomorrow. So if you follow my page, it will be in a post tomorrow for you. And so I touched on that already this week. And it's really important. So we will talk about the 3 most important things a job hunter can do to stand out in these circumstances. If you are unemployed at the moment, what is my advice to you? I will also talk to you today about what the recruiters are telling me about the job market. I have been in touch with them because I'm booking interviews with recruiters for the Job Hunting podcast. So around mid-May, I'm trying not to bring them now because there is no point. But I think mid-May onwards, it will be nice to have some recruiters as guests for the Job Hunting podcast. And what skills I believe will be trending post-COVID. And these are skills that I am using. And I've been researching them and thinking about them. This is really, you can't forecast anything in a pandemic that is so widespread like this. So it's a kind of foresight and looking at different trends from different types of research and then coming up with ideas and just keeping my fingers crossed that they are right and adjusting them as I go along. But I had to pull out the Job Hunting Made Simple course. I have an online course for job hunters. It's called Job Hunting Made Simple. It was launched late last year, and it's a 7-week program. And the second half of that program was really into, how to prepare your resumes and go for job interviews. And there was a lot of body language information in there, a lot of networking information in there, and handshaking and techniques inside a boardroom interview setting. So how do you control your nerves and the sort of techniques that I have learned and used successfully before. I think that I want to keep them there because eventually we will go back to that setting in Australia, possibly very soon, but half of my audience is overseas. In America, who knows, the situation there is really dire, and the white collar workers might be doing Zoom, Skype interviews for quite some time. And remote work might be, what we do also in the future. So I want to kind of prepare lessons and modules that really focus on video interviewing and so forth. So I pulled out the Job Hunting Made Simple course and I will relaunch it mid to late May. With those additional techniques and information, which were there before, but much minor before COVID. Now, we have to boost that up. So let's begin. What are the 3 most important things a job hunter can do to stand out under these circumstances that we are in today. Absolutely continue to apply for jobs. If you have been applying for jobs, continue to apply for jobs. You've got nothing to lose. You've got absolutely nothing to lose. No one is going to judge you if you don't get the job, right? Let's begin by saying the reason why I'm telling you should continue to apply for jobs is for you to keep a finger on the pulse of the job market. You will be way ahead of the game if you continue to apply for jobs rather than everybody saying hi, hello, rather than you taking a break and saying, okay, there are no jobs there, I'm just going to take a break. It will be hard. You will lose momentum. You will lose that intelligence and that expertise, and you will lose the touch of the how the market is progressing, because it's changing. It's not going to be the same as it was before. But by constantly keeping an eye on what's coming up in terms of how the positions are being written, how they're being written differently, what skills employers are looking for, you will be less surprised when you go back into the job market, okay? And you will continue to be top of mind within the recruiters network. So by constantly being in the know with recruiters, with hiring managers, let's say if you are in the finance sector and you are operating within a set of, like, a geographical area, let's say Melbourne, I'm from Melbourne, so let's use that example. There are certain recruiters that are, specialized in banking and finance, and they will know that you are on the market. So they will think of you for positions as the positions come along. Now, yes, there is a reduction in jobs advertised, but there are still jobs being advertised. Either jobs that have been planned pre-COVID and they haven't been pulled out. These are jobs in the public sector, jobs that have been budgeted for and strategically designed, and people just said, okay, let's just go for it because we need this person anyway. Let's just go and look. And it is a good strategy for an employer to be looking for people right now, because there's such a great talent pool of people. You can get great talent, by people that are being let go from your competitors, right? So yeah, if you can, why not continue to look for great talent at these strange times? So those jobs are still there, and I have clients that are going for job interviews and looking for jobs and being interviewed and so forth. So nothing really has changed much for them. And then you have organizations that have had a huge spike in demand, and they are putting up they are sort of struggling. There's always this friction time when you make do with what you have, and then you start thinking strategically, okay, how long is this demand going to go for, and do we need contractors, do we need interim leaders, do we need boots on the ground? And then they start putting jobs advertised. And on inside the private group, I've been putting a lot of opportunities like that. Some people didn't cope, some people got sick. So, there are opportunities for interim work. So I don't know if you know what interim work is when you come in as a senior executive for a short period of time at usually a C-level heads of role, and you're there for 3 months, 4 months until somebody recovers from a sickness or somebody is replaced. It could be a restructure, but that team still needs to be catered for and led. So yeah, and then there are contracts that contractors at a project management level that need to step in to lead, whatever spike in demand or a digital transformation that needs to happen quickly to cater for customers, to cater for workers working remotely. So yeah, there are, interesting opportunities there. And yes, not many, but you should still be looking at them because they will be showcasing to you what's coming in the future. And we'll talk a little bit about that as we go along. So continue to apply for jobs. Secondly, be flexible. So, what I mean by that is this: if your sector is severely impacted, let's look at your career at a more granular level. So let's identify the set of skills and strengths that you have, the experience that you've accumulated within that sector that we can repackage, repurpose, and present to a different set of employers, a different sector. And I know this is hard, and it may be that you need help doing that. Sorry, I'm here for you, and this is my business, so I want to present that as a proposition, but it is important for you to consider. So a few months ago, this is before Virgin collapsed, and this was a job hunter that was not from Virgin Airlines. He was from a different airline, but he had a strong HR background in white collar, senior executive HR, but had led a large catering transformation within an airline. And I thought to myself, gosh, this is perfect for the health and aging sector. So pre COVID in Australia, all we were talking about and seeing in the news were horrible, horrible examples going through the Royal Commission into health and aging of terrible food being served to the elderly and so forth. And we looked at that, and I told him, look, I know you have no network and connections in this sector, but you can serve this sector so well because you can help this sector transform and cater at scale, and at a cost, but offer great food and healthy food to their clients. So think about that, because the airline business is not really well at the moment. And this was pre-COVID. Now the airline business is even worse. So I hope that he has taken up my advice and moved on and started to develop networks within the health sector. Because that's the thing. If you've been working in a sector for too long, you may not know anybody in a different sector, and you may need help transitioning and speaking the language and changing your narrative and translating some of your expertise into a different type of jargon. And I was talking to a client 2 nights ago on a coaching session about that and how to translate the narrative. I do have quite a lot of podcasts on narrative as well, so if you go back into my podcast, I haven't been here for that long. So just scroll down to the first podcast and you will find some of those. So this is, and also changing sectors and being in that situation where you are in a tough situation. It is a crisis, but with crisis, the silver lining is you've got, again, nothing to lose, and it's your opportunity to think, what is it that you really want to do from now on? Because your role has disappeared. For Virgin Airline workers in Australia, which was the topic of my conversation in this interview at Ticker TV earlier this week, your sector has disappeared. What else can you do? Let's look at your aspirations, your dreams. What else have you dreamed about? This is your time to set your goals in a different direction, and let's translate your experience to start progressing into that direction. And I'd love to help. Nothing makes me happier than help somebody achieve their career dreams. And it's never too late for that. Never too late. I love stories of people that have, as a mature age worker, started a completely different career. Andre, my husband, has She passed away. A wonderful story of an aunt who did her law degree in her late 50s, graduated in her early 60s, and became one of the best adoption lawyers in our home country. And I really want to interview this woman here in Melbourne. She's a fellow Rotarian, and she became a stockbroker in her 60s, and she's still a stockbroker in her 80s, and I can't wait for you to meet her on the Job Hunting podcast. She's unbelievable. I really, really want to interview her soon. Um, be in the know. So, this is the reason why I have put together the special resources about COVID-19 for job hunters and work from home professionals. I am a strong believer that white collar professionals, professionals in the corporate sector, public sector, and not for profit, they have to be thought leaders. They have to be knowledgeable about what's happening above and beyond what they operate in, about their industries, about their sectors, about how the organization they work for is performing within that sector. It's really important. If you are going into a job interview today, you have to know how that organization is responding to COVID. You have to understand how they're marketing themselves, relating to customers, relating to employers, how their sector is being affected nationally and internationally by COVID, the lockdown and the pandemic. So I put together resources for professionals so that they are in the know. You have to be in the know. So you can access that by going to my website. Stella will put the link to the COVID-19 resources for professionals. There's my list of the job hunting podcast episodes that we've done specially for COVID-19, talking about complexity, ambiguity, disaster avoidance, about the new world of work, and then some articles and thought leadership papers and reports for you to read. If you have any questions about your specific sector, because I have so much stuff that I read, I'm happy to introduce you to a few different things as well. If you are from a specific sector or a specific country and you want to check if I have something for you. I'm always swapping ideas with colleagues from overseas. I have friends all over the world. I'm always asking them for articles, for videos, and we're always swapping ideas. I am a policy wonk. If you look at my background, just go to my website /about, see where I work, then you will see that, yeah, I am a policy wonk. So I love reading graphs and charts and so forth. So yeah, don't get me started. Right. So, okay, overall advice if you are unemployed at the moment. So up until now, the advice that I've given you is for if you are unemployed or if you're working from home and you have time to spare and you still want to progress your career. Everything that I said before is for both of those professionals. If you are unemployed right now, my biggest concern from talking to clients and prospective clients that have been in touch with me is this. You have to access all of the benefits that are available to you. Don't be shy, don't be embarrassed, and don't be humbled. It's time for you to access all of the benefits. And first of all, if you're new to this channel and you haven't seen the previous episodes of the podcast, you may not know this. This is not an emergency. This is a slow-moving train wreck. It's going to take a while for us to come out of this. This is a recession, and it's going to be a while before we float back again. And Australia is doing everything right. We have so many great stimulus packages in place. And yes, some people are falling through the gaps, as business owners, as employees, and so on. So yeah, it is unfortunate. And you have to be very knowledgeable about what you can access, and talk to people whenever you can about it. Happy to help. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below or send me a message. So for example, access job seeker. Some of you may not be able to access job seeker. Why? Because you might be have a partner who earns more than a certain amount, and then the job seeker doesn't apply. But that may not be enough for you to pay all your bills if you have kids and the kids go to private schools and so on. So what else can you do? Can you delay your mortgage payments? Can you discuss your rent with your real estate agent? Can you access your superannuation funds? These are not ideal, but this is not an ideal scenario that we're living in. It's less than ideal. And what I'm giving you is not financial advice. I'm just educating you on the opportunities that are out there for you. And it's important to consider being and living in your minimal viable budget at the moment, even if you are employed. Why? Because there may be a domino effect at the moment. So I have clients that have been unemployed since ground zero. I lost my contracts at ground zero. I have coaching and I have consultancy work, and my consultancy work dropped out very quickly. So some of my clients have had that experience, but some of my clients are still employed. But it could be that as companies adjust and restructure, that job disappears. So you have to be planning for a changing in scenarios and changing in situations that last for 12 months to 18 months. So don't be complacent and don't be reactive. Be proactive and cut your living expenses as much as you can to adjust. So that's really important. And have a routine, have a working week so that you can apply for jobs, as I said before. Doesn't have to be a long week. You don't have to work 10 hours a day, But, put yourself together. Whatever it may be, you can work in your pajamas if you want to, if you can be productive like that. But have a routine. Sit down, open your emails, reply, touch base. It brings a smile to my face when somebody contacts me and has a session with me, and then I look at their LinkedIn and they're following my advice. I have some folks that have been in touch with me and were in touch with me earlier in this COVID situation, and they are just superstars at the moment. Their LinkedIn looks perfect. I can see that they are probably applying for roles. Their posts are spot on, aligned with their expertise. They are adding value to the discussion. It's unique and really special information that they're sharing that I am seeking out. And I'm like, okay, I love it when clients get better than me at things like LinkedIn. I'm like, wow, okay, that happened really fast. So have that routine, be good at what you do, and become a thought leader. LinkedIn is now calling street. It's now, the hustle and bustle of the professional life in Melbourne. Wherever you are, make that analogy and make sure that you're presenting yourself really well in that marketplace. It is the job marketplace now. Be careful not to be excluded from that. I have noticed some people have fallen into that trap of being removed from LinkedIn. If you've been following me, that has happened to me. And if you've scroll down to my videos, you will find a video about that horrible experience when I was removed from LinkedIn for a couple of a few hours. That was horrible. You don't want to be in that situation. But desperate people, job hunters, may find themselves breaking the rules on LinkedIn. So be careful with that. What are recruiters and clients telling me? That job ads are down. So it is true. Jobs ads have reduced probably by 50 to 80%, depending on your sector. Um, Interviews are now all online. Be ready for a different way of building trust and rapport. You The small talk is different. It's way more personal. It's more intimate. It's not even that it is now online. Some interviews were online before anyway, but now everybody is online. It's not like you are online and the person is at the boardroom at the office. No, everybody is in their offices. And it's very personal and intimate. You're looking at people's homes, and sometimes you get interrupted, and the internet is not good. You have to have a lot of patience, and you have to uh, be expressive from this part up, so make sure that you show that part of yourself well, and have a great background that shows your personality but is nice and neat and clean. So this is, well, I work from home. This is my virtual office. But some people haven't really thought about working from home before. They were caught by surprise. So use this next weekend to consider, okay, this is a big deal now. I'm going to be job hunting or working from home for quite some time. I can't have my spouse ironing shirts behind me. Believe me, I've had that in a work meeting the other day. So how am I going to rethink my house, so that I can have that quiet space to make sure that I'm not interrupted? If you're a job seeker, you have to be the most professional of all of the people in the Zoom meeting. That's for sure. So make sure that if a mistake happens, a mistake happens. People are very understanding these days, but try your best to have a great setup for you. Um, yeah, I think that's it. Skills, I mentioned skills in the beginning, being remote work ready. Now, again, we were all caught by surprise with COVID-19. If you're trying to buy a monitor, if you're trying to buy a headset, it will be hard for you to find one for sale. I know I've been trying to find a teleprompter, and because I'm filming the job hunting made simple, and I've been thinking about doing it with a teleprompter, so I don't have notes because I'm reading from notes to my side, and it's very hard. It's very hard. But if you have a good setup and you can say, I am ready to work remotely, you can hire me and I'm good to go. It's perfect. You would be surprised how many large companies were not ready for remote work. You are ready for, you have great written communication skills, social media communication skills, organic social media interaction with customers or employers. You're able to work independently under low supervision. You're able to manage high performing teams, high performing project management teams remotely. Things like risk management, any emergency planning that you've done before, contingency planning, crisis management planning. I have been asking clients of mine, when they sent me their resumes, you know, they dig deep and look at what you've done maybe more than a decade ago. Do you have defense experience in early on in your career? Unpack that may now be very good, because it may be that it helped you be very good under pressure, work under extreme uncertainty and complexity and crisis, and perform really well under those stressful situations. You definitely have skills that other people don't. Things like experience in teaching, experience in call centers and customer relationship, all of these have become really important. So unpack that and bring that forward. People are not looking for generalists at the moment. Remember that. If so, white collar workers have this tendency when they're looking for work to say that, they're good at everything because they've been in the workforce for 10, 15, 20 years. Those are the clients that I usually serve, senior executives, senior managers. They have come up from a specialist tube up into this senior exec general manager role, and they think that they can do everything, and they can. But when you're looking for a job in the sort of environment that we're in now, you have to niche down again. You have to become an expert and be known for recruiters and hiring managers for an expertise that they can bring on board, and you can hit the ground running to support them with that expertise. So think about that, and let me know if there's any questions that you have about the things that I have discussed today or things that I haven't discussed today. If you have any comments or different experiences. Look, things are changing very quickly. Things are different in different regions. I would love to hear your experience job hunting in different parts of the world. So please leave me comments. Don't be shy. I'd love to touch base with you and be in touch with you in the future. So follow me wherever platform you found this video. This video will be on YouTube soon. It will be on my website soon. So sign up, follow, subscribe. I'd love to be in touch with you. Let me just quickly have a look and see if we have any comments, but we don't. Oh boy, 36 minutes. That's more than enough. All right, guys, as always, I will drop into the private group for a quick chat. In the private group, I usually am a little bit more open and casual, and I will definitely talk about a series of job ads that I've been posting there during the week and giving a little bit more detail about each of those job ads. And so I have to give preference for people that are inside the private group for a reason. It gives them a competitive advantage and an opportunity for us to discuss things in a private way. The private group is for everybody that signs up. It's free, but it allows us to have private conversations in a safe environment. And if anyone breaks the rules, I can kick them out. It hasn't happened yet, but it just gives us that security that we're all there for each other, to support each other in our job hunting pursuits. So if you are job hunting, or if you're a career enthusiast and you want to be on top of things, join the private group, and I will see you in there in a few minutes. Bye. I hope you enjoyed the content this week. Remember, there is more content out there. Just find me and listen to the Job Hunting Podcast as well. I have one episode every week, and there has been quite a lot of great content and great interviews in the past few weeks. So I hope that you enjoy that as well. Don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter and to follow me wherever you found this video. I'd love to keep in touch with you. Ciao for now.